Email, right? It comes in, it never stops. Somebody always wants a response. How do you manage email so that it doesn't suck the life out of you and it doesn't take away from all the other more important tasks and more interesting tasks that you'd like to be engaged with? That's coming up in this video. Hi everyone, I'm Leigh from teachingacademia.com, and I'm all about giving you the tools you need to navigate academia to make your best impact. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you get notifications because I put out new videos each week. All right, so we're talking about how you manage email as a grad student, as a professor, because do you feel like you get email all day, every day? I know I do. It doesn't stop, right? So how do we contain that so it's not creeping in on other things and making us less productive on the things that we both want and need to be productive about? All right, well, the thing that I'm going to suggest to you is that you set up a time for when you're going to read and respond to your email and put that in your calendar. Treat it just like anything else. So I've suggested to you in previous videos that you block out time for when you're going to be doing your writing, that you, and obviously I'm assuming when you teach class, you have that blocked out in your calendar as well. If you're going to be planning for class or grading for class, you probably blocked that time out. Do the same thing with email, okay? Now, how frequently you do that, right? If you do it 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, how many times per day, what time during the day? Those are questions that I cannot answer for you because they're going to vary. The answers to that would vary depending on your position, right? Your situation, you know, how many emails you get, you know, that sort of a thing. But there are some things that you can think about that can help guide you in making those decisions. So first of all is, how often do you want to answer it? All right. And do you want to answer it, you know, at a bare minimum, you should be looking at your email once a day, Monday through Friday. Okay. That's a bare minimum. I can tell you that much. But in terms of ramping it up, do you want to look at it on weekends? Do you want to look at it, you know, 2 times a day, 3 times a day? That's up to you. That depends on your context. Now, some people don't answer email before noon. I'm not that person. I usually have like a short half-hour period in the morning where I do email. But there are some really interesting advantages, I think, to considering not answering your email before noon if you can get away with it. And one of it is sometimes you get emails that, you know I get emails where you might have a student that's upset about something. You might have somebody that's demanding something from you. It's not super urgent, but it needs to be done that day. You know, you have somebody that's in a bad mood, you have somebody that's maybe sent a rude email, you have some things, and I'm giving these as examples. They don't happen all the time, but when they happen and you read them first thing in the morning, it can sort of throw a monkey wrench into your day, right? Because if you let it get to you, now it's sort of like nagging at your brain. Oh, I want to resolve this, or I want to get this done, or I want to put this person at ease, I want to answer this person's question so they'll leave me alone. And if you're supposed to be writing, that's detracting from your writing time. Or if you're supposed to be planning for your class, that's detracting from your planning time. Even if you say, I'm not going to answer this right now, I'm going to set it aside and come back to it. If it's still nagging in the back of your brain, you're not as productive on the task that you plan to do as you could be. So by getting some important tasks out of the way in the morning that are not email, you can give them your full concentration, and then around noon or in the afternoon, shifting over to email. If you have an email that's particularly, you know, not a pleasant email, that might, you know, sort of emotionally disrupt you a little bit or cause some distraction, you've gotten, you know, the important things that you really wanted to pay attention to, you've already addressed them, you've already worked on them. So if you can do that, I think that's a really smart thing to do, all right? When you're teaching a class, you should consider an email policy that you want to communicate to your students. I don't do this, okay? And the reason I choose not to do it is because I tend to work a lot with working professionals who sort of their needs are going to require me to have some sort of, you know, left of center hours. I can't really be hard and fast with the business hours or no emails on weekends, because that's when the people that I typically work with, the people that are typically in my classes, that's when they're typically available and needing help. So my email policy is crafted around my students, okay, and their needs and what's going to work best for that. But that said, right, you can still communicate to your students when you're available. So if you're only going to be available Monday through Friday, Tell them, I check email once a day, Monday through Friday. So you should typically expect to get a response from me in 1 to 2 days. If you're not going to check email on weekends, tell your students that. They can still send all the emails they want, but they should understand that you're not going to get to them until Monday, okay? If you stop answering email at 5 p.m. on a Friday, let them know that, okay? Just so that they're aware of what they can expect from you. And again, I would keep in mind the context, right? The students that you serve, what their needs are, and think about what makes really good sense for that. But at the end of the day, remember this. Email, like a lot of things in our job, is constant, right? It's constantly coming in, okay? It's never going to stop coming in, all right? But you need to bound it and set the parameters for it in such a way that you are in control. You don't want it to control you. You want to control when you read it and when you engage with it. And setting a schedule, setting some kind of calendar where you know when and where and how that's going to happen, that's going to help you get it under control. All right, so thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all of my videos. And while you're at it, head down to the comment section. Let's chat. What kinds of questions do you have? It could be about email, maybe it's about time management, maybe there's some other things that are sort of creeping in to your work day that you feel like are just snowballing and you can't get a handle on it. You want some advice, you want some help. Let's chat about it so that I can help you move forward with your academic journey.